Have you ever wondered why some people seem to lose belly fat even though they never spend hours in the gym? Every morning, before the world fully wakes up, they put on a pair of walking shoes, step outside, and simply walk. No intense workout. No expensive equipment. No complicated fitness program. Just a quiet walk before breakfast. At first glance, it seems too simple to make a real difference. After all, how could something as ordinary as walking before breakfast possibly change stubborn belly fat? Most people believe that if an exercise doesn't leave you exhausted, sweating heavily, or gasping for breath, it probably isn't doing much. But your body doesn't judge exercise the same way your mind does. Inside your body, the early morning is a very unique metabolic environment. You have already gone many hours without eating while you slept. Your digestive system has been resting. Your blood sugar is usually lower than it was after dinner. Your insulin has had time to decline overnight. Before your first meal, your body is operating under a completely different set of biological signals than it experiences later in the day. Now imagine adding one simple habit into that environment, a gentle 20 to 30-minute walk before breakfast. Could that small decision change the way your body uses energy? Could it influence your blood sugar, your metabolism, your hunger hormones, and eventually your belly fat? The answer is more interesting than many people realize. The goal of walking before breakfast is not to punish yourself. It is not about exercising while starving. It is not about forcing your body to burn fat as quickly as possible. Instead, it is about working with your body's natural biology instead of against it. One of the biggest myths is that walking before breakfast instantly burns belly fat. Unfortunately, that is not how human metabolism works. Your body cannot choose to burn only the fat around your stomach during one morning walk. Spot reduction is one of the oldest fitness myths. Fat loss happens throughout the body over time as your metabolism repeatedly receives healthier signals. Another common myth is that fasted walking is dangerous for everyone. For many healthy adults, a gentle morning walk before breakfast can be a safe and sustainable habit. However, it is not appropriate for everyone. People with diabetes, those taking medications that affect blood sugar, pregnant women, individuals recovering from illness, or anyone with specific medical conditions should always follow advice from their healthcare professional before changing their routine. There is another misunderstanding that often keeps people from trying this habit. Many believe that only high-intensity workouts burn fat effectively. They think unless they are running, lifting heavy weights, or pushing themselves to exhaustion, nothing meaningful is happening. But science tells a different story. A moderate walk is something most people can repeat nearly every day. It creates far less physical stress, is easier to recover from, and can become a long-term habit. And when combined with an overnight fasting window, regular walking may help improve insulin sensitivity, blood sugar control, muscle activity, and the metabolic environment that supports healthier belly fat reduction. So what actually happens inside your body if you wake up, skip breakfast for just a little while, and take a morning walk every day for the next 30 days? That journey begins long before your first step. When you wake up in the morning before breakfast, your body is in a very different state than it is after a meal. You have spent the entire night without food coming in. During that time, your body has been maintaining blood sugar, repairing tissues, regulating hormones, and using stored energy to keep you alive while you sleep. This overnight fasting state is one reason morning walking can feel different from walking later in the day. After dinner, your body spends several hours digesting food and managing the nutrients that entered your bloodstream. Carbohydrates are broken down into glucose. Insulin rises to help move that glucose into cells. Some energy is used immediately. Some is stored as glycogen. And if the body receives more energy than it needs over time, some may be stored as fat. But by morning, after several hours without eating, blood glucose and insulin are usually lower than they were after your last meal. This does not mean your body is empty. It means your body is relying more on internal fuel management. This is where insulin becomes important. Insulin is often misunderstood. It is not a bad hormone. It is essential for life. But insulin also acts like a storage signal. When insulin is high, the body is generally focused on using and storing incoming energy. When insulin is lower, fat cells can more easily release fatty acids into the bloodstream, allowing the body to access stored fuel. So when you walk before breakfast, You are moving your muscles before the first insulin spike of the day. Your muscles begin contracting. Your heart rate rises slightly. Blood flow increases. Your body starts asking for energy before food has arrived. This creates a unique signal. The muscles need fuel, but there is no new breakfast energy coming in yet. At first, your body may use available glucose and stored glycogen, but because insulin is relatively low, fat oxidation may become more available during the activity. In simple terms, your body may use a greater proportion of fat as fuel during fasted low-intensity movement, compared with the same movement immediately after eating. But this is where we need to be careful. Burning more fat during one walk is not the same thing as losing belly fat overnight. Fat oxidation during exercise simply means your body is using fat as one fuel source in that moment. Actual belly fat loss depends on the bigger picture: total energy balance, meal quality, protein intake, sleep, stress, insulin sensitivity, and consistency over many days. This is why walking before breakfast is not magic, but it can still be powerful. The power comes from repetition. Every morning walk teaches your muscles to become active before food arrives. Your muscles become better at using energy. They may become more responsive to insulin later, which means when you eventually eat breakfast, your body may handle that meal more efficiently. This matters because muscle is one of the largest places where glucose can go after a meal. When muscles are active and insulin sensitive, they act like a sponge for blood sugar. They help pull glucose out of the bloodstream and reduce the need for exaggerated insulin responses. Another important factor is cortisol. Cortisol naturally rises in the morning. This is part of the normal wake-up rhythm. It helps increase alertness and mobilize energy so you can begin the day. Gentle walking can work with this natural rhythm by increasing circulation, warming the body, and improving mental clarity. But intensity matters. If you push too hard while fasted, especially if you are new to exercise, sleep-deprived, stressed, or undernourished, the walk can feel unpleasant. You may feel dizzy, shaky, or exhausted. That is why the best morning fasted walk is not aggressive. It should feel steady, controlled, and sustainable. The goal is not to shock the body. The goal is to give the body a calm, repeatable metabolic signal. Wake up, move, use energy, improve glucose handling, and prepare for the first meal. When repeated for 30 days, this simple signal can begin changing how your body responds to food, hunger, energy, and belly fat storage. Now let's follow what may happen from day 1 to day 30. The first morning you decide to walk before breakfast, you probably will not notice anything dramatic. Your belly will not suddenly become smaller, your clothes will not instantly fit differently, and the number on the scale will almost certainly remain the same. But inside your body, a new pattern has just begun. During the first 3 days, the biggest challenge is usually psychological rather than physical. Your brain is used to a familiar routine. Maybe you normally wake up and head straight to the kitchen. Maybe your first cup of coffee is accompanied by toast, cereal, or something sweet. Your body expects breakfast to arrive shortly after waking. When instead, you drink some water, put on your walking shoes, and head outside, your brain notices the change. Some people feel a little hungrier than usual. Others feel slightly sluggish during the first few minutes of walking. A few even wonder if they should turn around and eat immediately. For most healthy people, this adjustment is simply the brain adapting to a new routine, rather than a sign that something is wrong. This is why the first walks should remain easy. You should be able to carry on a conversation without becoming breathless. The goal is consistency, not exhaustion. Interestingly, many people begin noticing small positive changes even within these first few days. Their body warms up naturally. Their mind feels clearer. Morning stiffness begins disappearing. Instead of feeling groggy for an hour after waking, they feel more alert before breakfast. These changes are subtle, but they are important because movement stimulates circulation, increases oxygen delivery to the brain, and activates muscles after a long night of inactivity. By days 4 through 7, another change often begins. Your body starts expecting movement before food. The morning walk becomes less mentally difficult. Hunger during the walk may decrease because your brain is learning a new routine. Instead of associating waking up with immediate eating, it begins connecting mornings with gentle activity. Meanwhile, your muscles are repeatedly receiving the same message every day. Move first, eat second. As this pattern repeats, your muscles become more efficient at handling glucose. When breakfast finally arrives, many people notice they feel satisfied without needing an unusually large meal. Some even report fewer cravings later in the morning. This is partly because morning movement may improve the way the body responds to the first meal of the day. By the second week, improvements often extend beyond breakfast itself. Many people describe having steadier energy throughout the morning. Instead of crashing an hour after breakfast, they remain productive longer. Their circulation improves. Their digestion feels more regular. Some notice less bloating when they wake up. The belly may feel softer and less swollen, even though visible fat loss is still modest. This is an important distinction. Less bloating does not necessarily mean large amounts of fat have disappeared, but reduced bloating, healthier digestion, and better blood sugar regulation create an internal environment that supports long-term belly fat reduction. By the third week, some physical changes may begin appearing. Your waistband may feel slightly looser. A pair of jeans that once felt tight in the morning may now button more comfortably. You may notice that after breakfast, you no longer feel overwhelmingly sleepy. Instead of feeling as though you need another cup of coffee immediately after eating, your energy remains more stable. These improvements often reflect better glucose handling rather than dramatic fat loss alone. As muscles become more insulin sensitive, the body may process breakfast more efficiently, reducing large swings in blood sugar. This smoother response can influence the rest of the day. You may experience fewer cravings in the afternoon, less desire for sugary snacks, more stable concentration. By the fourth week, something even more interesting may happen. Your body becomes better at switching between different fuel sources. Scientists call this metabolic flexibility. Instead of depending almost entirely on incoming carbohydrates every few hours, your body becomes more comfortable using both stored glycogen and stored fat when needed. This flexibility does not happen because of one walk. It develops because you have repeated the same healthy signal every morning for nearly 30 days. Wake up, move, activate your muscles, delay breakfast slightly, then eat a balanced meal. Some people will notice a smaller waist. Others will mainly notice better morning energy, improved mood, fewer cravings, and more confidence because they have successfully built a healthy habit. Of course, progress is never perfectly straight. Some mornings your stomach may appear flatter. The next day, it may seem exactly the same. Water retention, sodium intake, stress, poor sleep, hormones, digestion, and even yesterday's dinner can all temporarily change how your abdomen looks. That is why measuring your waist once a week is often much more useful than judging your body every morning in the mirror. The real changes are happening underneath the surface. And to fully understand why this habit can influence belly fat, we need to look at what is happening inside each major organ as you continue walking before breakfast every day. After 30 days of walking before breakfast, the changes inside your body are not limited to one area. This simple morning habit creates a chain reaction that involves nearly every major organ responsible for energy production, blood sugar regulation, fat metabolism, and overall health. Let's begin with the brain. When you wake up and start walking, your brain receives more oxygen-rich blood almost immediately. Blood circulation increases, and nerve cells receive a fresh supply of oxygen and nutrients. At the same time, your brain begins releasing chemicals such as dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins that help improve mood, motivation, and mental clarity. This is one reason many people say they feel more awake after a morning walk than after a second cup of coffee. There is another important benefit. Morning movement may help reduce emotional eating later in the day. When stress levels become better regulated and mood improves naturally, the brain becomes less likely to seek comfort from sugary snacks or highly processed foods. Over time, this can reduce unnecessary calorie intake without feeling like a constant battle against cravings. Next come your muscles. Your muscles are one of the largest energy-consuming tissues in your body. Every step you take requires muscle fibers to contract, producing movement while using stored fuel. Because you are walking before breakfast, your muscles become active before receiving fresh calories. They begin drawing upon available energy inside the body, including stored glycogen and circulating fatty acids. Perhaps even more importantly, active muscles become more responsive to insulin. After your walk, when you finally eat breakfast, your muscles are ready to absorb glucose efficiently. Instead of allowing large amounts of glucose to remain circulating in your bloodstream, your muscles help move that glucose into cells where it can be used or stored for future activity. This improved insulin sensitivity is one reason regular morning walking may support healthier blood sugar control over time. Now let's look at the liver. Throughout the night, your liver has been working quietly to maintain normal blood sugar levels while you sleep. It carefully releases small amounts of stored glucose whenever your body needs energy. When you begin walking before breakfast, the liver continues supporting your muscles by managing this fuel supply. Instead of immediately processing nutrients from a new meal, it works together with your muscles to balance stored energy and ongoing energy demands. Repeated over many mornings, this cooperation may contribute to healthier glucose regulation and improved metabolic efficiency. The pancreas also benefits from this routine. Normally, after breakfast, the pancreas releases insulin in response to rising blood sugar. But when your muscles have already been active, they often become more efficient at taking in glucose. As a result, your pancreas may not need to produce such a large insulin response compared with remaining completely inactive before eating. This doesn't happen dramatically after one walk, but over weeks and months, repeated improvements in insulin sensitivity may help create a healthier metabolic environment. Now consider your fat cells. Fat cells are constantly responding to hormonal signals. When insulin remains elevated for much of the day, fat cells are encouraged to store energy. When insulin has opportunities to decline, stored fatty acids become easier to release. Morning walking before breakfast takes advantage of this naturally lower insulin period. While the body still uses a mixture of fuels, this environment may make fat oxidation more available during gentle activity. Visceral fat, the fat stored around internal organs, appears particularly responsive to improvements in insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation, and consistent daily movement. Again, this does not mean one morning walk melts belly fat. It means repeated healthy signals gradually create conditions where visceral fat becomes easier to reduce. Your digestive system also joins this process. Gentle morning movement helps stimulate intestinal activity and supports healthy bowel function. Many people notice more regular digestion after establishing a consistent walking habit. Better digestion often means less bloating, less abdominal discomfort, and a lighter feeling throughout the day. Even your heart and blood vessels respond. Every walk asks your heart to pump slightly harder, delivering oxygen and nutrients throughout your body. Blood vessels become more flexible. Circulation improves. Over time, regular walking supports cardiovascular health, healthy blood pressure, and efficient oxygen delivery to muscles and organs. These improvements are not only important for belly fat, they are important for healthy aging itself. When your brain becomes clearer, your muscles become more insulin sensitive. Your liver manages glucose more efficiently. Your pancreas works more smoothly. Your digestive system becomes more regular. Your fat cells respond to healthier hormonal signals, and your cardiovascular system grows stronger. The result is much larger than a simple morning walk. It becomes a daily investment in your entire metabolism. And these internal improvements are exactly why so many people begin noticing real-life benefits long before dramatic body transformations appear. After walking before breakfast consistently for 30 days, many people begin noticing that the greatest rewards are not limited to the number on the scale. In fact, some of the most meaningful improvements have nothing to do with body weight at all. They are changes that make everyday life feel easier, healthier, and more energetic. One of the first real-life benefits is a gradually smaller waist. This usually does not happen because one morning walk burns a huge amount of belly fat. It happens because the body receives the same healthy metabolic signals day after day. Lower morning insulin, improved muscle activity, better blood sugar control, and consistent movement all help create an internal environment that supports visceral fat reduction over time. Another major benefit is better blood sugar control. Many people notice they no longer experience the same sharp rise and fall in energy after breakfast. Their first meal feels more satisfying, and they stay full longer. Instead of becoming hungry again after only an hour or two, they often feel steady until lunchtime. This improvement is especially valuable because stable blood sugar helps reduce unnecessary snacking throughout the day. More stable energy is another common benefit. Instead of feeling tired every morning until several cups of coffee, many people report feeling naturally awake after their walk. Their body has already started circulating blood, activating muscles, and increasing oxygen delivery before breakfast even begins. The result is a smoother start to the day. Many people also notice fewer cravings. This may seem surprising because they are delaying breakfast slightly. But regular morning movement can improve appetite regulation throughout the day. Combined with a balanced breakfast containing protein and fiber, this often reduces the desire for sugary snacks in the afternoon or late evening. Another benefit is psychological rather than physical. Starting every morning with a positive habit builds confidence. Each completed walk becomes evidence that you can keep promises to yourself. That small victory often carries into other healthy decisions. People who begin walking before breakfast frequently find themselves making healthier food choices, drinking more water, sleeping earlier, and becoming more physically active without forcing themselves. Over time, this creates a powerful chain reaction. Regular morning walking also supports healthy aging. Daily movement improves circulation, helps maintain muscle function, supports healthy mitochondria, improves insulin sensitivity, and reduces many of the metabolic problems associated with aging. However, there are several common mistakes that can reduce these benefits. The first mistake is walking too hard while fasted. Some people believe that if gentle walking is good, running as hard as possible without eating must be even better. Not necessarily. Very intense exercise while fasted may leave some people feeling dizzy, exhausted, or overly stressed. If the workout is so difficult that you cannot recover well or continue consistently, it becomes much less useful than a comfortable daily walk. The second mistake is eating a poor breakfast afterward. Finishing a healthy walk and then eating pastries, sugary cereal, donuts, or highly processed foods can quickly erase many of the blood sugar benefits you just created. Instead, breakfast should include protein, fiber, healthy fats, and minimally processed carbohydrates whenever possible. The third mistake is rewarding yourself with extra calories simply because you exercised. Many people unconsciously eat far more than they burned during the walk. A single pastry or specialty coffee can easily contain more calories than were used during a moderate morning walk. The fourth mistake is expecting spot reduction. Walking before breakfast does not tell your body to burn only belly fat. Fat loss happens throughout the body, according to genetics, hormones, overall energy balance, and long-term metabolic health. The belly often changes slowly, especially the fat under the skin. The fifth mistake is ignoring sleep. Even the perfect walking routine cannot completely overcome chronic sleep deprivation. Poor sleep increases cortisol, disrupts hunger hormones, weakens insulin sensitivity, and often leads to stronger cravings the following day. Morning walking works best when it becomes part of a complete healthy lifestyle rather than a single isolated habit. So how can you apply this routine correctly to give your body the greatest chance of reducing belly fat over the long term? If you want to try walking before breakfast for the next 30 days, remember that success comes from consistency, not intensity. You do not need to wake up at sunrise and immediately walk for an hour. In fact, starting too aggressively often causes people to quit within the first week. Instead, begin with just 10 to 15 minutes at a comfortable pace. As your body adapts, gradually increase your walk until you reach about 20 to 30 minutes most mornings. The pace should feel natural. You should breathe a little faster than normal, but still be able to carry on a conversation without struggling. Before you leave the house, drink a glass of water. After several hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated. Replacing that fluid helps support circulation and makes the walk feel more comfortable. Some people also enjoy plain black coffee before walking, but avoid adding sugar or high-calorie creamers if your goal is to keep the morning fasting window intact. When your walk is finished, eat a balanced breakfast instead of skipping food for the rest of the day. Build your meal around high-quality proteins such as eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, tofu, fish, or lean poultry. Add fiber from vegetables, fruit, oats, or whole grains, along with healthy fats like nuts or avocado. This combination helps stabilize blood sugar, supports muscle recovery, and keeps you satisfied longer. As you continue this habit, track more than your body weight. Measure your waist once each week under the same conditions. Pay attention to your morning energy, your mood, your cravings, your sleep quality, and how your clothes fit. These changes often reveal progress long before the scale does. So what happens to belly fat if you walk before breakfast for 30 days? You create a healthier metabolic rhythm. You activate your muscles before the first meal of the day. You improve glucose handling and insulin sensitivity. You encourage your body to become more metabolically flexible. You may experience steadier energy, fewer cravings, better digestion, improved morning focus, and a gradual reduction in abdominal fat over time. But perhaps the greatest benefit is not simply losing belly fat. It is teaching your body to work with its natural biology, instead of constantly fighting against it. One simple walk every morning may not seem like much on its own, but 30 mornings become a month, 12 months become a year, and those small daily decisions can completely reshape your long-term metabolic health. If you enjoyed this science-based explanation, subscribe for more videos about fasting, walking, visceral fat, blood sugar, metabolism, and healthy aging. And tell us in the comments, if you started tomorrow morning, could you commit to walking before breakfast for the next 30 days?